through the winter so that you can support your immune system. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I am going to actually start today's training. So for those that don't know who I am, okay, so my name is Michelle Hart, and I am a diet and detox specialist, and I've been in the game for almost 22 years. And the reason for that is because I recovered my own health. When I was young, I was very fit my whole life, but actually I didn't eat properly. In fact, I had an eating disorder, and I was starving myself to be slim. And it led to a condition known as osteoporosis and amenorrhea. So I lost my menstrual cycle, and I created a bone disease when I was really young. And so the medical system said, the answer to you is take the medication and we'll just manage it. Well, I knew that wasn't the answer. How did I get here to begin with? So that started my search and my journey into healing myself. And it took many, many, many years because I was bombarded with so much of the wrong information. I was inflaming so much of the wrong information that I was led astray and actually got worse until I finally found cracked the code basically to reverse my osteoporosis and then balance my hormones to then be fit and healthy at 55. So, we don't want you to wait that long to heal your body or to get to your perfect weight. So I'm going to actually share with you exactly one of the ways that I was able to do it, eat more and stay at my perfect weight, and also heal my body. So eating foods that are nutrient rich, that actually were able to support my metabolism. And now I actually have, food freedom, which is kind of, I think, what we all want. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start the training right now. So I'm going to share my screen. Okay. So likely on the screen, you are seeing 10 foods that help you lose weight. So I'm just going to make sure that that is true. I'm going to look at my phone and make sure that you guys are looking at what I'm looking at. Yeah, you are. 10 foods that will help you lose weight. Okay. So this is, again, so what you're going to learn today you're going to learn the 10 foods, but also let me just open up, the conversation on eggs and how we've been, taught that eggs may not be actually healthy for you if you're having it more than like a couple times a week. So I'm going to crack the code on that one. And then also we hear about these weight loss programs, foods that are good to lose weight. A lot of them are like protein rich, but is all this protein good for you? What about the kidneys? Is it going to cause too much acid in the body? So I'll be talking about that. And then also we hear about nuts being very satiating. They're a good snack to help you get to your perfect weight, but is that really true? And then also fermented foods. We hear that there's a lot of talk on fermented foods and how helpful they are, but are they really? So there actually is some things you need to consider when we're talking about these things, okay? So again, my personal transformation was I was afraid of food when I was young because I thought I would gain weight if I ate too much. And so I ate too little and basically starved myself into a condition known as osteoporosis and amenorrhea. But after figuring this out, and literally I went on a journey, it was this journey of self-discovery and finding the truth to health. I did reverse everything, but it did take the right diet. It did take detox, which is a critical component to all of this, and a healthy daily routine. So the daily routine is really about getting your circadian rhythm back. So these three are the pillars actually to the program that I created, which are 9 steps to helping you lose serious weight without giving up your favorite foods or wine. Who wants to do that? We all want to do this with food freedom, okay? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get into asking you a question. Why don't you think people eat? Why aren't they eating healthy? Why don't people eat healthy? Why don't they eat healthy? Because, so much of the population is obese and they're overweight. Why are we eating healthy? What is the reason? Because, there is a lot of information about what healthy is. Why aren't we eating healthy? Doesn't make sense, does it? I'm going to stop this and I'm going to see. I'm going to ask you the question. Why aren't we eating healthy? Why don't you think people are eating healthy? Even though they know they need to, why aren't they? Doesn't make sense, does it? But why aren't they?
They don't know how.
Okay, so Rona has spoken up and she says they actually don't know how. Yeah, that's a good answer. And then I have someone else here, Facebook user. I'd love to know who you are. Please share. Time to prepare healthy meals. Yeah, time factors. We're busy, right? Doing things. And there's quite often in the household, there are both parents are working now. And that's new. Whereas before it wasn't that way. The woman stayed home and cooked and the man went out and, worked, right? Things have changed. So what else? Healthy foods take time to prepare. Yes, we've been told healthy foods take time to prepare. That's true. Yeah. Whereas the other foods, the processed foods, are just like open up a box, put it in the microwave, and go to town, right? I get it. These are all very, very true. So
they
what
don't realize how important it is.
So Rona is sharing, they actually don't really realize how important it is to actually eat healthy. That's good, yeah. So Stephanie is chiming up. She's saying, seems it takes longer to prepare and costs more to eat healthy. Yep, those are all, can be true. Yeah, can be true. And then we have this, a Facebook user, I'd love to know who you are, the wrong mindset. Yes. We are going to be unpacking that right now. Okay, so let's get into the psychology of this, okay? Those are all really, really good answers. So I'm going to go and share what the science says, what the researchers are actually saying. Why aren't people eating healthy? So we're going to get to that right now. So these are the reasons. There's actually 3 that have been discovered. We know that 60% of the Americans are overweight or obese. That's a high number. Like 2/3 of the population is not healthy. That's crazy. And the survey, they did a survey and in 2000, and they, regardless of what people know about health, they choose not to eat healthy. And there's actually 3 reasons why we discovered this. Poor dietary foundations. And so here's how it works. You're actually still eating the way that you were taught when you were a kid. And these habits are instilled, the first 7 years are instilled into what you're doing now. So just really think about your childhood. How was it? And were you taught to clean your plate? No matter how much was left, like you still need to just finish your plate. You can't leave that on the plate. Or, we have to eat regular meals, eat 3 meals a day. Make sure you bring your snacks. Take your snacks, take your food with you. You don't want to be left hungry. So these could have been some of the conversations that you heard when you were a kid. Really think about that. Maybe you were brought up in an era where there were convenience food, like Betty Crocker, the Betty Crocker era. Who was in the Betty Crocker era? Where I think I was, because I remember like boxes of Betty Crocker cakes, and we just added water to it and put it into a fake microwave. Although my mom fed me well, we did a lot of that as well, the microwaving thing. So there was the microwave, there's the convenience foods, and basically you were taught, well, we're busy, so hey, we've got these processed foods, they're quick and tasty. You heard the word tasty, right? So you know that they do hire food scientists and they pay them big money to make sure that the chemicals they put in the processed food will make you eat more, and it will stop your ability to even know when you're full. And so they're actually addicting, and they're good at it because we're doing a pretty bad job of staying within our, our ancestral template, right? Foods we're actually designed to eat. We're really moved far away from that. And so these early eating habits paved the way to kind of what you're doing now, likely. I know for me, I had to go through my whole change to how I was raised to what I'm doing now, and a lot better for it. So that's the first reason. Second reason is we just completely are misinformed, and the information out there is just not correct. And it's very conflicting. As Rona was mentioning, they actually don't know. Well, that happened to me when I was on search to what is healthy. I followed what the media said, and oh my gosh, I actually got worse, because we know a lot of these messages that are on the mainstream media are driven by the pharmaceutical industry. Actually, they're the ones driving everything. And so when we start to watch this, read this, even the magazines, right? Self-help magazines, like truly health magazines. They talk about foods that aren't even, like they're food-like substances. They're not even real food. And they make it look like it is, but it's actually not. And this is where I was derailed with but then I figured it out. Like I said, I went back into, our ancestral ways of eating, and then everything turned around, everything. So anyways, we're overwhelmed with this conflicting information. And even all the diets out there, like, how do you know which diet's best for you? There's so many different diets out there. And it depends on the day, it depends on what's being marketed. There's keto, there's South Beach, there's paleo, there's vegan, there's vegetarian, there's a raw food diet, there's carnivore diet. There's so many different diets out there. How do you know what's right for you? Because of course you're going to be, there's even the blood type diet, right? So all these different diets. So how do you know what's right for you? Now, the third reason why we found most people kind of know they need to eat healthy, but they don't have motivation. I don't know if this sounds like you, but lacking motivation. Okay. Because here's the thing, like you are where you are because of the habits that you've been following. Right. And so sometimes it's really hard to flip the switch and change your habits and allow it to give you time to see the results. For some people, it is just so daunting and they actually give up. They give up. Yeah. And so according to the American Academy of Family Physicians, you change behaviors as the level of your motivation and understanding changes, which means that really you need to stay motivated to stay on track and also even understand what you're doing. So these are two really important factors. And what we find is you start out wanting to lose weight. You're really motivated. You've got the dopamine hit. You've seen people get into shape and you're like, I want to do this. But you actually aren't even sure really how, right? And so that's where you start to lose results and then you give up. So this is actually pretty common. So I'm going to stop this and see if anyone can comment on what I've just described. Can you see this? The reasons why, we know we should eat healthy, but we're not eating healthy. Can you see why this can be true? So Stephanie is for sure agreeing. She says, yeah, this has definitely crossed my mind. Yeah, for sure. I would say the motivation part would be the biggest that I hear as a clinical practitioner when clients come to me and they want to reach their optimal health. I lack motivation. I'm so unmotivated because one of the reasons likely is because they're not sleeping well. But they're not sleeping well because they're not eating well. And they're not doing the right things. So it's tough to be motivated to stay on track to see the results, right? It can be really, really hard. Okay, so we have Tonya on the line. Awesome, thanks for joining, that's great. So, I just really wanted to show you a clear picture of why aren't more people eating healthy? These are kind of the reasons, right? And if you know of any other reasons, chime in and let me know. But yeah, these are kind of the reasons. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go we're getting close to the solutions right now, okay? And I'm just going to pull up my screen here and go back to the training. So we know we need to eat healthy, but we're not doing that. So what we're going to do is we're actually going to get sure on really what healthy eating really is, because I really believe most people are just not sure, okay? And so we're going to talk about some foods that are actually going to help you lose weight, all right? But before I get into that, something I really want to bring forward to you right now, and that is if you are willing to be different, if you're willing to be different, you may be part of the solution. So what I mean by that is, I'm going to go here. What I mean by that is, even if I'm going to show you how to eat healthy and you'll be well equipped to eat healthy. But sometimes not everyone is eating as healthy as you. And we could run into the situations where you don't really know how to navigate your way eating the way you want when you're in other situations. And so this is where I really want to hone in on this one quote that I heard today, which was, in order for you to change, you actually need to be different, and you need to be okay with being different. So it's okay to eat healthy around other people, okay? Because for you to stay consistent, that's actually what you need to do. And don't feel, I want you to kind of shift the mindset to, oh, everyone's going to be looking at me, thinking that something's wrong with me. I'm so rigid. But really, you know what? If most of the population isn't well and they're obese, don't you think we need some people to raise their hand and go, wait a minute, why don't I just be the example? Why don't I just be the different one? Why don't I just be the person who is okay with being different? And this takes a different way of looking at it, because you actually can help other people. So whereas you think you may be like the lone wolf, you're actually helping other people. So you're being the example. And we need more examples. We need you. The children aren't doing so well, right? They are being taught information that is, it's shocking actually. And they don't even know where the food is coming from, where it's grown, how to eat healthy. But if you can put your hand up and say, listen, like, I'm going to be the one. I'm going to be the one to go, no, I'm going to own my health. And I'm not going to judge other people, but I'm going to stay consistent with what Michelle is going to share, and even try new things and actually own my health. So if you can leave with anything today, that is, please, some of you here, put your hand up and say, I'm going to be the one. I'm going to be the one that when I learn this true health information, I'm actually going to follow it. And I'm going to be okay with doing this around other people. Okay. If you need languaging around that, like how to handle yourself in social situations, what to say, I'm happy to help you with that, because I find most people derail their health just to please others. But really, it's your life. Okay. I'm going to get off my soapbox, and I'm going to share with you the 10 foods right now. Okay. Here we go. So what we were talking about with these social gatherings, and my message to you is just stay on your own path. Stay on your own path and be good with it. So let's start with 10 foods that will help you lose weight. The first one is eggs. Number one are eggs, absolutely. And when I say eggs, I don't mean egg whites. A lot of clients come to me and they want to eat eggs, but they're eating egg whites. Okay, but we're missing the most important piece of the egg, which is the yolk. The yolk actually is what has most of the nutrition. Okay, it has the choline, which is helpful for brain health, healthy, like brain cognition. And how many people out there know of somebody with Alzheimer's, dementia, multiple sclerosis, any like brain disorders, mental disorders? Yeah, because they're not eating foods to feed the brain. I'm telling you, the yolk is it's like, you've heard of the vitamin or the supplement phosphatidylcholine. Well, you can actually just eat eggs and not buy the supplement and feed your brain. All right. It's going to help you with your nervous system and your brain. But not only that, it is a perfect food. The yolk with the whites, that is the number one perfect food to help you lose weight. And I'm saying that also because they're super convenient. You can actually boil them in advance and take them with you for your next meal. If you won't be, instead of eating out like at a fast food restaurant, you can actually take your eggs with you and put them, protect them so they don't break, or whatever you want to do, put them in a container, and that will be foods for you that will help you lose weight. And the reason why they do that is because they are high in protein. So you're going to hear a lot about protein today. Yes, we do need protein to help you lose weight. And the reason for that is because protein is going to stimulate a hormone called glucagon, which actually sends the signal to help you lose weight. It also is part of your healthy lifestyle, which is you're exercising, but you need to eat the protein to build the muscle and get toned, right? Carbs won't build the muscle. Fat's not going to build the muscle. The protein is going to build the muscle. And your number one strategy for exercise is to build more muscle, not to lose muscle, to build muscle. But you need protein to build the muscle. Eggs are your perfect protein. Eggs are also inexpensive. So when I hear things like, and I understand, Stephanie, eating healthy can be time consuming and costly. Well, eggs are a solution to that right now. Because they're inexpensive. Like how much is 12 eggs, right? Like maybe 50 cents an egg, maybe not even that, 33 cents an egg. And if you're having like 3 or 4, that's very low cost for high yield, which is your health. And also convenient. Like I said, like how hard is it to make eggs? Like in a scramble or soft boiled, hard boiled, take them with you for the day, make an omelet. This is an incredible thing. And also, we don't have to think about eggs just being for breakfast. Why don't you have eggs and omelet for dinner? Quite often, here's how it works. I don't know if you're like me, but when I get into my work, which I love so much, it's like my biggest passion. I don't want to stop work. And so actually, I don't put a lot of time sometimes into making my meals because I just want to serve my clients and serve people that are interested in getting healthy. That's all. I love to teach more than anything. And, I have 30 minutes to create a meal. Well, if I have eggs in the fridge, it's so easy to create a meal that will allow me to keep at my best weight. Crack open a few eggs, put in some vegetables, a little bit of healthy fat, and there it is. That's a perfect meal. It might take me maybe 15 minutes, and I've solved the problem of time, and I've solved the problem of cost and convenience. It's all there. So all you have to do is have the eggs in the fridge and the vegetables and good fats. That's your good way to go. I am going to see if anyone here had an aha moment with what I've just said. Okay, so we have, Stephanie is saying $6 a dozen. Okay, so that's, there's 12 and that's 50 cents each. Okay, so you're having 4 because you want to get 30 grams of protein per meal. That's also another clinical pearl I'm going to share with you right now. You guys can take notes. But you need 30 to 50 grams per meal to actually stimulate what you need to do to build the muscle, okay? And it's, yeah. So, yeah, that's good. So thank you for sharing. And what else? Eggs are a super great idea. Yeah, okay, good. Yes, let's take action today. Let's buy your eggs. Ideally, the eggs that you want to get, quality matters. Quality matters. You want to make sure that the eggs are pasture raised. They are going to act differently in the body if they're from a chicken that had been inside under artificial light and been stressed. They're 2 different foods to the body, actually. So really, you want to look for pasture-raised eggs that have been able to eat their natural diet outside in the sun. Because why? Here's the thing: they're happy. The chickens are happy. And their produce is going to be healthy for you too, anti-inflammatory. We want to eat foods that keep our inflammation down. Okay, this is also one of the ways you're going to lose weight and keep it off for life is keep the inflammation down. Well, if we eat pasture-raised eggs, they're high in omega-3. They're anti-inflammatory. But if we go into factory-farmed eggs, then we're actually eating a food that isn't optimal. It's actually higher in omega-6, which is an inflammatory food. So pay the extra like 10 cents. Pay the extra 10. That's probably all you need to do is pay the extra 10 cents and search out pasture-raised eggs. Find a farmer and buy dozens of them. They're going to keep in the fridge for a long time, right? And it's an inexpensive protein source that's going to help you lose weight, right? It's like the number one. So I encourage you to look for this type of quality. If you're traveling, okay, if you're traveling and you're in a hotel and you're going to have breakfast, lunch, or dinner, whatever eggs they have, that's fine. You know what? It's going to be better than cereal. So their eggs, probably aren't organic free-range, but at least they're eggs, right? So do the best you can. But at home, search this stuff out, okay? So we've got that. And now Stephanie is bringing up a question. Yes, I would take out yolk because concerns of high cholesterol. Is that a lie? Yes, it is. We've been misinformed. I'm so glad you brought that up. Okay, so here's the thing. Our body if we don't get enough foods that have cholesterol, our body, because our bodies need cholesterol so badly, it will make it itself. The liver will make cholesterol if we're not getting it from our foods, okay? That's how important cholesterol is to our bodies. In fact, we need it for repair. So what happens is during the day, we're breaking our bodies down all the time. We're creating little nicks into our blood vessels. We are. And what happens is cholesterol is like the hero. It comes and it circulates and it patches it up so that the blood can keep going through. Okay, so it is actually its own antioxidant. It actually is the hero to allow for the blood to go through for you to stay alive. It's also the building blocks for our sex hormones. If your cholesterol is low, you likely have low libido, right? And our brain needs cholesterol for it to have good, healthy brain function. Okay, you will find that those that are on cholesterol lowering medication, they have brain fog. They have poor memory. They have low libido. They can't repair very quickly. They can't even work out in the gym because their recovery is so slow that they're always inflaming. So we want foods that are high in cholesterol, because what happens if we're eating foods that are higher in cholesterol, which is a healthy fat, then our liver won't have to make cholesterol because it's getting it from its food, right? So that's how important cholesterol is. Where we get derailed is the following: oxidized cholesterol. So what happens is when you get your blood markers done on your blood test, which I love to read. I love to read blood tests. I do. And so if we look at the total cholesterol, the HDL, the LDL, the VLDL, the triglycerides, and all the markers that are going to show, how your cardiovascular system is doing, what you want to make sure is that you can test for cholesterol that has become oxidized. That means that it is not healthy cholesterol, and you can actually test for this, because then, and also when you look at your HDL and LDL, you want to look at the ratios. You want to make sure that you've got high HDL and lower LDL. So what LDL does, so cholesterol is being transported throughout the body, right? Liver makes cholesterol, it gets released into our bodies, and it helps to repair our blood vessels, right? That's kind of what it does. So it leaves the liver and it goes into the blood vessels, and then from that section it goes back up to the liver again. So we have LDL being deposited, HDL going back into the liver. So you want to make sure that your ratios we don't look at just total cholesterol, we look at the ratios. Is it the ratios healthy enough for me to be able to repair, but not to cause occlusion, So if we're getting our blood vessels to become occlusion, which means they're becoming blocked, then we have to look at, why is this happening? Why am I nicking my blood vessels? It's not the cholesterol's fault. The cholesterol is trying to save you with the blood going through. It's why am I creating so many damage to my blood vessels? And what you'll find is you need to look at, okay, well, how much sugar intake are you having? That's the first thing, is because sugar is going to break down your blood vessels. It will cause nicks, right? And then you look at, how's my stress? If you have high stress, perceived stress, like physical stress, any kind of stress, that's also going to cause nicks into your blood vessels. If you're not having a diet rich enough in antioxidants, so those would be like berries and all colored vegetables, then you're breaking down more than you're building up. Because remember, the antioxidants quench the free radicals that the stress and all that is creating. So I would have to say that is a myth, and it's been debunked, but it hasn't been put into mainstream media enough. Okay, so we want these eggs. And here's the thing with eggs is, can you eat too many eggs? Well, your body, always go with your preference, your appetite, your food preference. Do I want eggs? Is it going to make me happy? Do I feel like I want eggs? Because if you're told to eat eggs, but you don't even like eggs, don't eat eggs. Or if you're told to eat eggs is like the cheapest, healthiest food, but you really don't want to eat eggs, then you've had enough eggs. And you just got to let your appetite and food preference kind of run the show when it comes to eggs. Because there may be a time you go, oh my gosh, I just want to have eggs all the time. Well, because the body needs stuff from the eggs. It's telling you that. There's a message. The body's saying, eat eggs because I need that choline. I need the phosphatidylcholine. I need the omega-3. It's telling you that. But then there'll be a time where you'll be like, I don't want any more eggs. Okay, you've had enough. Now go on to a different food group. okay? Another animal protein source or some kind of protein. So let your appetite be the guide and your food preference, because just then you won't eat more eggs than you need. Really, you won't, because your body's super wise. I really went long in the tooth on that. Hopefully that's okay. Okay, so Larry is saying $2. Yeah, for farm fresh. There you go, $2. What is that, an egg? I don't know, 15 cents? That's so awesome. And eggs are a great idea. We've got 3.28 for a pack of 18 eggs. See what I mean? This is awesome. Okay, so we're going to go back to the training right now. If anyone else wants to ask any more questions, we're going to go into more information here. Yeah. Okay. And I'm just going to share a little bit about the question was about the high cholesterol. I already spoke about that, so we don't have to go through that. Okay, number 2. And if you don't eat red meat, don't worry. I've got 8 other foods that are going to help you lose weight. But really, we can't be afraid of red meat either. Red meat is very healthy for you, for most people. Depends on the person. Remember, this needs to be customized to your genetics, to your biology. But really, red meat isn't as bad as we're told it is. And it does depend on quality, but what I'm going to share with you is red meat. If you have an aversion to red meat because you're told it's bad, then please listen up. But if you have an aversion to red meat because you can't break it down, it's actually because you have low stomach acid. It's not the red meat. It's your stomach acid is low. And so if you think that it's the red meat and you stay with low stomach acid, then you won't be breaking down much of your proteins, or you won't be able to absorb the minerals from even your vegetables. So you want to go with the root cause. Okay. If you can't break down red meat, but you like red meat, check your stomach acid. The stomach acid needs to be released to break down your proteins, right? And so if you fix the stomach acid, which is what I do a lot with my clients, then you can start to eat red meat and assimilate it and feel incredible with the energy it's going to provide for you, with the weight loss it's going to provide for you, with the flavor it's going to provide for you, all those things. So that's that. If you are vegan or vegetarian, then obviously you're not going to have red meat. And there's other protein sources, that's fine. Okay, so there's that. But one thing, why red meat is on my top list of foods that will help you lose weight is here's why. There is an amino acid called leucine. And this leucine, you need to have a certain amount of leucine in your protein to be able to stimulate muscle growth. The building of muscle needs the one amino acid called leucine, okay? And we need at least, I believe it's 3 grams. I'll have to double check that, but red meat is the highest in leucine. So you're getting like more bang from your buck. And this is actually why a lot of bodybuilders or those that are athletes, they thrive on red meat because it's helping repair their bodies and build so that they can get toned and build some muscle, okay? Another thing is red meat is also supports healthy blood sugar balance, okay? And because of the increase because it's high in protein, because it can help build muscle, and then you're moving your body into being insulin sensitive instead of insulin resistant. This is the key to losing weight, is you want to make sure that you can manage your blood sugar well. We don't want these high blood sugar surges. If you have high blood sugar surges because you're insulin resistant, you're going to have a really hard time losing weight because you won't be able to tap into your body fat. You'll just be storing fat all the time. So you've got to balance your blood sugar. And one of the ways is actually to eat red meat. And when we eat foods that are high in leucine, this amino acid, it actually increases our body's ability to burn fatty acids, burn your body fat as fuel, okay? And the difference, I guess the scare came with the red meat issue was this. There was this one, there's been countless, books out there and documentaries out there about the dangers of eating red meat. And the research that they shared in all these documentaries and these books was red meat that was sourced from cows or animals that were factory farmed. Again, it comes down to the eggs situation. So it's quality matters, okay? Quality matters when you can. Quality matters when you can. So we have cows that are raised on grass. That's their natural diet. They're happy they're outside, right? And we eat this food because it's actually part of our biology. Like our ancestors were hunters and gatherers, right? So we can eat this. Our cells are looking for this. Like your cells are expecting this kind of food, okay? Because remember, this is how we're human beings and we're meant to eat these foods. But cows that or animals that are raised on grass, that's what it's expecting, this kind of a food. Those are anti-inflammatory. They're actually really high in omega-3 again. Omega-3 is an anti-inflammatory fat. It keeps the inflammation down so that you can lose weight and keep it off for life and stay healthy. Okay, but the animals that are factory farmed, they are not the same as the ones that are grass-fed or grass-finished. They're not. These are foods that if you eat too much of them, yes, they can lead to cancer, of course. They can lead to ill health effects, of course, because they're high in omega-6. They are not the same food to the body as the grass-finished. The factory farmed are not. And so a lot of these documentaries, they actually did studies on factory farmed animals, and they were putting out this dogma that, yeah, don't eat red meat. Well, no, it depends on the type of red meat. So please listen to, do your own research, of course. Don't believe everything you hear. But if you think about it, our ancestors, which were still 99.99% the same as our ancestors, our prehistoric ancestors, were the same. They ate animals that were outside, right? So mimic what our ancestors did because they were healthier than us now. They were healthier. They died earlier because of predators and because of childbirth, and they didn't have the precautions that we have now. That's right. But they were healthier than we are. I mean, look at how what our ancestors looked like back then. They were healthy. They were lean. They were fit. And look at the average person now. You can't even. They don't look that way, right? So just look at that. So yeah, quality matters, and red meat is really good. And just make sure when you make your red meat, you don't want to charbroil like where it gets burnt because that is cancer causing, right? So just, as rare as you can, right? And slow cook is always better. We don't want to burn our food. But if you can eat more red meat, you're getting way more bang from your buck, okay? And also you're supporting healthy practices. You're supporting the farmers that are there doing the right thing, right? And if we can all just do this and be proud and be the leaders and be okay with being different, right? It's going to cost you a little bit more, but here's the thing. Do you think that it's going to cost you more to eat healthy and have a healthy lifestyle or not and go on medication and see the doctors, frequently and be part of their care? Which one's going to be more costly? I would argue that taking the time to make the appointment to the doctor, to go see the doctor, to sit with the doctor, to drive back, all that time is money, right? And also medication costs money. And also, is it solving the problem? No. Most chronic conditions, we need medication for acute situation, but certainly not chronic. Most can be prevented or it can be reversed, okay? So I don't know how you feel about that, but so we want to kind of look at that, right? Look at the bigger picture. So I'm going to go back to, and if anyone has any, okay, we have a comment here. So this is good. What do you do? Yeah, exactly. I'm so glad you brought that up. What do you do if red meat causes your gas? Well, the first thing is the quality of the meat. Oh, there's a few things going on. So you are having a hard time breaking down red meat. Okay. When you're eating your food, are you calm? Because any kind of food would be gassy if you're always in a rush or if you're not chewing your food. So this is called food hygiene. Are you calm? Okay, so that's the first thing. The second thing is the red meat from a factory farm? It could be that your biology doesn't recognize it and it's going to cause gas and fermenting. The third thing is low stomach acid. So we need the stomach acid to break down the meat So then it's not a big burden to enter into the small intestine where it doesn't ferment. But if it's going in and it isn't fully broken down, you can start to ferment. That's called gas. So those three areas. So again, food hygiene. Are you calm when you eat? Maybe think about that. Am I chewing my food? Okay. Is the red meat, pasture raised? At least grass fed. It doesn't have to be grass finished, but at least grass fed, right? And then your stomach acid. So those are the three areas you want to look at. And if you need more help, get a hold of me. I can help navigate you through all that. So what we're going to do is we're going to go back to the training, and we're going to go to the next food to help you lose weight, the real foods. Well, the next one are, dark leafy greens. Absolutely. My goodness, they are such a good food to help you lose weight. And for reasons, we know that they're low calorie, so that's really going to help. And it can help fill you up. Yes, it can, if you eat enough of them, right? But what I love about dark leafy greens and how they can correlate to losing weight is they're jam-packed full of what your body needs to lose weight, which is trace minerals. Here's the thing. We're not really vitamin deficient, we're mineral deficient, okay? And our bodies need more minerals than we're actually getting, okay? So one thing with dark leafy green vegetables is they're packed full of minerals and trace minerals. And so when you're having these kind of foods, then you're allowing the body to have the micronutrients it needs to have proper function. One would be magnesium. So magnesium is so important for daily energy and to help you sleep at night. So if you're going to have more energy during the day and help you sleep at night, of course it's going to help you lose weight, because you're probably going to exercise because you'll be more motivated and you'll have more energy. Plus, when you sleep at night, you actually burn fat when you sleep. That's the easiest way to lose weight, is you have a good sleep, and you will actually burn fat while you sleep, okay? So dark leafy greens are going to allow for that. Okay, so load your plates up with dark leafy greens. And if you eat dark leafy greens and you have gas, then it's going to be a soft test that you actually have dysbiosis. So I'm going to talk about that right now. So here's the thing. Maybe you love raw vegetables. Maybe you love raw dark leafy greens. You just love them, but you can't eat them. When you eat them, you get all gas and bloating. So again, it's not the dark leafy greens that is the problem. It's your stomach acid is low. So if you have low stomach acid, then you're not breaking down your vegetables very well, right? And then again, it's going into the small intestine, causing gas and bloating, okay? And where this leads to is things like SIBO, leaky gut syndrome, dysbiosis, which means more of the pathogenic bugs in the small intestine and less the beneficial, more the pathogenic, less of the beneficial. And that's why you're producing more of these gas-producing organisms in your small intestine. And that's why you're having gas and bloating, because you actually don't have enough stomach acid. So much of this is we need our stomachs to release stomach acid to break down the greens so that you can actually use them as energy, right? So again, it comes back to that, okay? So I thought I'd share that with you. I'm going to go back to the training. So then the answer to that is start to steam your vegetables and fix your gut so that you can start to eat raw veggies again, okay? And if you need more help, obviously that's what I help with all the time. Okay, so now we're going to go to, I know you're going to be shocked, potatoes. Yeah, so potatoes can be a very, very healthy food to help you lose weight, and other root vegetables. So when I'm saying potatoes, I'm saying why are potatoes a really healthy food? Okay, why are they going to help us lose weight? Why do you think potatoes can help you lose weight? I'm actually going to ask the question. Why do you think I put potatoes up there to help you lose weight? Most people think potatoes are fattening. Any answers to why I put it up there as a weight loss food? No answers? Why I put potatoes up as a weight loss food? The reason is because it's satiating. And if we actually eat potatoes as part of our last meal of the day, what they're going to do is allow you to sleep through the night. Because one of the tricks that I provide to my clients to help them lose weight and keep it off for life is the evening meal is when we do carb up. We don't really eat the carbs during the day. We don't really eat below the ground vegetables during the day. No, because they're high in carbs, right? But we want carbs because we need carbs. Carbs are very important to feed the small intestine so that the good bacteria grow, right? You're not just feeding yourself, you're feeding the bacteria and you want to feed the good bacteria. Well, that's what potatoes will do for you along with root vegetables because of the fiber. So remember, this is food for the good bacteria to help you have a good digestive tract. So, but if you want to lose weight, we have to be very strategic. We don't want to eat potatoes during the day, okay? We want to carb up at night because we can only handle a certain amount of carbs. And so we want to save it for the evening to help you sleep through the night so that you can burn fat while you sleep, okay? If you have too many carbs during the day and less at night, you're probably sleepy during the day because it's actually going to help you feel sleepy. Yeah, it will. So during the day, you want to have above the ground vegetables, but at night, you want to do below the ground vegetables as part of your evening meal. There is a certain amount to have, but I'm just giving you a real strong tip and the reason for that is because of resistant starch, because of the starch. It's a slow release of glucose to keep you sleeping all the way through the night. That way you don't wake up at 3 a.m. going, oh, I'm hungry. Oh, I have low blood sugar. I'm waking up. Why am I waking up? Probably hypoglycemia. Well, if you have the starch at night, is part of your evening meal, then you will be able to sleep through the night. Okay, that's the reason why potatoes are in there. When I say potatoes, please be mindful of non-GMO. GMO is going to, again, lead to leaky gut and that small intestinal dysbiosis, right? So when you do get potatoes, make sure that they are non-GMO, so organic. They're not expensive. This is also a super inexpensive food. So like I'm Russian and Ruski, and we eat a lot of potatoes. They're very satiating, very, very healthy for you. And here's the thing. If you make potatoes and you cool them off, they're actually even more beneficial to you because they're higher in resistant starch, which is going to feed the good bacteria in the gut, which is going to allow you to have good digestion, which is going to allow you to assimilate your food and not back it up so that you can lose weight and keep it off for life. Okay, so you can think about things like that as well. These are just some extra nuances that maybe you didn't think of. Yeah, so you want to get the root vegetables in there. And I do want to put like my cursor around these leafy greens that are on top of these root vegetables. Here's the thing. When you go to the farmer's market, when you go to the grocery store, source out carrots or beets or radishes with the greens on them. Don't have them take off the greens. The greens are actually super, super high in minerals. And when you can wash them and steam them or put them in your salads with the vinaigrette dressing, you are getting food. This is food as medicine right here. Like this is true medicine right here. These greens, remember they're high in magnesium, high in trace minerals. The body needs it to have proper metabolism. So keep the greens on. And I do mean carrot tops. Yeah. So I am a chartered herbalist. And this is one thing that I always remember when I was doing my training is the greens on the carrots are super high in so many minerals like beta carotene, really good for the eyes, but really you're actually eating health just like this. Like you're filling your bowl with such tremendous health properties that in time you'll start to notice, wow, like I'm waking up with energy. Oh, wow. I'm actually more motivated than I was before. Oh, wow. I'm able to sleep through the night. Oh, wow. I'm not getting sick like everyone else. You will start to really notice that when you start to eat this way. All right. So think about that. Okay. Yeah. Bone broth soup. This is number 5. So this is the number 5 in my top 10 foods that will help you lose weight. This is something actually that I'm doing pretty much daily now. I put this into my daily food template. And so what I'm doing is I make my own bone broth, and I prefer chicken bone broth than I do beef. If you're a vegetarian, do veggie broth. That's fine too. But what it is it just imparts so many minerals. Like it's so full of minerals and so healing to the gut. Not only that, it's so satiating and it's so full of flavor. Okay, this is like a food flavor bomb. So I would encourage you, like I do. I'm actually going to make one again now because I'm putting a chicken in the oven here. And after I get out this call, and I'm going to save the bones to make bone broth. Okay. And then what I do is I leave a certain amount in the fridge to last me for 4 days because that's how long it'll last in the fridge. And then I'll freeze the rest in small bags. And then I'll just pull it out when I need. But I add it to all of my dinners. Every dinner gets bone broth now because it really does pull out the flavor, but it's so healing to the body and it's extremely satiating. So that way I'm not overeating in the evening. You may feel a bit full, but actually you're just having broth. And so you'll find that you'll wake up not full. Like you'll wake up not feeling like you had a huge meal because it's so easily assimilated. It is such a good weight loss tool that I think I'm going to be talking more about this because I'm really finding benefit and with the immune as well. So, they have strong immune factors too, these bone broth. Bone broth is the number one thing if you're feeling low or feeling kind of tired or your immune system's down. Chicken soup, like with bone broth, is like the number one. So think about making bone broth soup. And if anyone here wants a recipe to do bone broth properly, because there is a certain way to make the bone broth for high mineral value, then I would happy to share that, of course. So you guys are here watching this. So soup, bone broth soup. That is something I recommend we all get into. Okay. Any questions, comments on bone broth soup? Bone broth? Any questions? No questions. Okay. So I'm going to get into number 6. Let me know if this is useful for you. Are you understanding this? Is this helping you? Can you see action steps? Will you be the person actually moving ahead with your health by following these kind of things? I'd love to hear. Is this making sense? Are you motivated? So chime in on that, and I'm going to go back to the training. So here we are. Now, the last 6 to 10, I'm just going to go through. So seeds. I didn't say nuts. I did say seeds. The reason for that is because are nuts a health food? Well, what I find is for every client that's come to me for the past 22 years, and I've seen tens of thousands. In fact, I had a physical practice before COVID. They were snacking on nuts. And what happens with most people is it's too calorie dense. And before you know it, they've eaten tons, way more calories than the body can use. Because if you're putting in more energy, if you're eating more energy than the body needs, you're going to store it, the energy. You're going to store the energy as fat. Yeah. So it's hard because they're so calorie dense, right? And it's so easy to just eat the whole jar. I mean, how many people here have, bought nuts from Costco, and before you know it, the whole jar is gone. And I know some of my clients have even commented on that. It's hard to stop, right? Because they're so delicious. And before you know, oh my gosh, I've eaten the whole thing. That's a ton of energy that the body is too much, right? And it'll store it as fat. So a good solution is eat seeds. Seeds you're not going to overeat your seeds. Okay. And so one of the best seeds actually that's healthy for weight loss is chia seeds, because they're very hydrating for the body. The body needs hydration for you to release the fat. And if we're dehydrated, we're actually not able to tap into our fat reserves as we would if we were hydrated. Well, chia seeds really help the body with intracellular hydration, which helps with body function. It helps with hydration so that you can release the weight. And so the amount of seeds that I recommend per meal would be about 2 tablespoons. So think about chia seeds. If you're constipated, one of the best remedies for constipation are flax seeds. Oh my gosh, flax seeds are incredible. And they're also they're high in omega-3, so they're anti-inflammatory. They're good for male's prostate, and they're really good for to have more bowel movements. And if you are menstruating, we use them as part of the seed protocol, where you would have flax seeds and pumpkin seeds day 1 to day 14, and day 28 to day 30, you do sunflower and sesame seeds. That will actually help balance your hormones using the seed cycling protocol, so that you can have healthy hormones as well. But if you're in menopause, you don't have to worry about that. You can eat any kind of seeds, okay? So think about seeds and not nuts as a weight loss food. Okay, let's get into fermented foods. So we hear there's so much talk about fermented foods and how kimchi, sauerkraut, we need to have these foods, yogurt. And then you hear there's kombucha booths being placed, even in the grocery stores now, they have kombucha. Well, I'm not a fan of kombucha. And the reason for that is because it's so high in quick sugar release. And if you're going to disrupt blood sugars with this amount of sugar, you will have a very hard time losing weight. There is a way to make kombucha where it's really low in sugar, but it actually takes a lot of skill, okay? And most store-bought kombuchas are just chock full of sugar, which is going to lead to weight gain, okay? And that's not really going to help you with your weight loss efforts, even though you're having something fermented. Additionally, if you have gas and bloating and SIBO or IBS or IBD, if you have autoimmune, I would caution you to have fermented foods to start, okay? Because you have more of the gas-producing pathogenic organisms in the gut than you do the healthy organisms in the gut. That's why you're having gas. And these fermented foods will feed the good guys, but they're going to feed the bad as well. You don't want to feed the bad guys. You need to knock them off by feeding the good guys. Okay, fermented foods will feed both. So we start by feeding the good bacteria with certain foods. Feed the good guys so that they naturally crowd out the bad. Then you can start to eat fermented foods once you have a better ratio of good to bad, okay? And so that's kind of where you want to go. So you want to feed the good guys. And how do you do that? Fibrous foods. Fibrous foods that the body can digest are going to feed the good guys. So the fiber is going to do that, okay? So now we get into number 8. Number 8 is cayenne pepper. Why did I put cayenne pepper on this list? I'm going to ask you. Who knows why I put cayenne pepper on the list of foods that will help you lose weight?
Speeds the metabolism.
Okay, so Rona has shared that it speeds the metabolism. How does it do that?
Is the heat part of that?
The heat?
Yeah.
Okay, correct. So it's going to improve the circulation. And so the more that you can improve the circulation, the more that you're going to tunnel all the nutrients around the body, the more that you're going to be healthy, the more that you're going to be able to lose weight, okay? And so yes, it does raise metabolism because it heats up the body, right? So you want to raise the temperature of the body, and you can do that just by eating cayenne pepper. Also really good if you are feeling like under the weather. It's almost a prescription for that is you're going to be able to shuttle all the nutrients to heal the body by having more cayenne. So for me, I have a regular practice where I put actually cayenne or paprika or chili into my foods in my bone broth soup every night. So I heat all the time. So that's the right answer. That's good. Thanks, Rona. That's awesome. Okay, so we're going to go into the other ones now, the other foods. Okay, so beans and legumes, they can be a food that will really help you get to your best weight. And the reason for that is because they're so satiating. They're so high in these fibers that will help to increase the good bacteria in your gut to allow for you to break down your foods instead of storing them and allow for good bowel movements. Remember, the beans and legumes actually will do that for you because of the fiber. But you've got to really make sure that they're soaked and sprouted only. Otherwise, they could cause gas because they're too hard to break down. I'm going to shine the light a little bit on black beans for a moment. So black beans that are properly prepared actually, they actually feed the Bacteroides species in the small intestine, and those that are lean are found to have higher Bacteroides species. And so black beans actually are one of the foods that will actually increase these good bacteria to help you get lean, okay? They actually did studies on black beans in particularly, and that's what they found with cooked black beans, okay? They actually increase the amount of Bacteroides, okay? So that is found in lean people. So let's eat more black beans. Let's soak and sprout them. If you have autoimmune, you want to avoid that. If you have SIBO, IBD, IBS, you want to avoid that. But again, fix the gut to then add the beans back in because they are a health food. The dark, rich colors, like the black beans, the red kidney beans. In fact, if you have a kidney issue, we do recommend kidney beans because they look like the kidneys, and it's called the doctrine of signature, where if you eat foods that look like your organs, it's likely going to be good for them. So kidney beans, as long as they're soaked and sprouted, really good for your kidneys. Lastly, we're going to look at cruciferous vegetables. We're at the 3 o'clock mark now. We're just going to end with these. I've got a little more information to give to you after, but just the cruciferous vegetables, okay? So why do you think I put cruciferous vegetables as part of the foods that will help you lose weight? Where's the connection between cruciferous vegetables like broccoli, cauliflower, Brussels sprouts, kale? Why are they going to help us lose weight?
Fiber.
So Rona pitches in and she says fiber. Yeah, that's one of the reasons. Anyone have any other ideas? It's because it helps the liver. So anyone who wants to be at a healthy weight really needs to have a clean liver. And because liver is so important to your metabolism, it actually helps a number of things balance your blood sugar. So it's actually, you have these, what I call suitcases in the liver that actually hold sugar for you in the form of glycogen. In case you're not going to eat, it will start to release it so that your blood sugar still stays stable, because it will actually give it will give you the sugar that you need to be able to get through the time that you're not eating, so your blood sugar doesn't crash. It will actually release the glycogen into the bloodstream. Your muscles do the same. So you want to make sure the liver is healthy enough to be able to have these bigger suitcases of stored sugar. Remember, it's not stored in your fat. No, it's stored in your liver. And that's what you want, stored sugar, to help you in case of you haven't eaten. The liver also is important for healthy hormones. So anybody here who has a hormone issue actually has a liver issue. The liver detoxifies your hormones, and so that they are well balanced, and gets rid of the cancerous ones when it comes to estrogen, and it helps to balance the hormones that way. So the liver is so important for that. And the liver allows you to have a healthy bowel movement so that you're releasing the toxins. If you have too many toxins in your body, you are inflaming the body. And again, if you're always in inflammation, you're going to have a hard time losing weight, because the body's trying to put out the fire all the time, not to get you slim, strong, and sexy. So we've got to support the liver. And the best way to do that is cruciferous vegetables. So you want to think about broccoli, cauliflower, Brussels sprouts. And the thing with these is they should be cooked. Okay, otherwise they could be deleterious to the thyroid, because they're goitrogenic. It's going to disrupt the thyroid, which is one of your metabolic glands, right? So organs. So you want to make sure that the cruciferous vegetables are slightly cooked, not overly cooked like mush, but just slightly cooked so that they are easily assimilated. Otherwise, it could cause gas as well. They need to be cooked. So back to the presentation. And we're just finishing up here. So basically, I've shared with you the top 10 foods that will help you lose weight. And just so you know, I do have a body transformation program. And what I've just discussed was part of step 3 out of my 9-step plan to help you lose serious weight in just a short amount of time and keep it off for life. So I talked about part of step 3, which is macros and meal times. So the kinds of foods that are going to allow you to actually slim down and stay slim for a lifetime. So if anyone here is interested in a proven step-by-step clear path to your best body, then please get a hold of me. And what you would need to do is just schedule a strategy call. So send me a message and say, yeah, I'd like to talk to you actually about helping me get into my best body, helping me lose serious weight, helping me get healthy to lose the weight. Then certainly send me a message and we can start a conversation on that. And I want to thank you very much for chiming in today with today's talk. And I'm going to see if there's any other questions that anyone has before we wrap up for today's training. Any other questions about all the foods that I've discussed? So Doug Thomas is asking Larry, he's asking Larry where he's getting his eggs. So Larry, if you can share where you're getting your eggs for that price, we'd love to hear. That'd be good. You can always pop it into the comment section at the end of this in the Facebook group. You can maybe mention it, and maybe I'll spear you on for this, something like that. Yeah. So we're wondering about that. So any other questions before we wrap up for today? No other questions. Okay, so I want you to have a great rest of the day. And again, put your hand up and be the one who is okay with being different. Be the one who's okay in social settings, eating the way you know is going to keep you healthy, right? Because again, you're helping them because you're like you're stepping up to the plate saying, like, I care about my body, right? And I'm going to treat it properly because I want to feel good. And again, there's no judgment. Just do the best that you can, but never, ever be embarrassed about being healthy, ever. Thank you, Stephanie, for saying thank you and sharing this knowledge. Absolutely. If anyone has any more questions, you can send me a direct message. We can maybe customize a plan for you that is specific just for you. And you're welcome, Doug. That's great. It's great that you're on the call and that I can answer your questions. And if you have any more, let me know. Rona, thanks for chiming in with all your answers. They were really good. So Stephanie, this is for children too. Okay. Depends on, okay, well, let's see, over age 1. So we know that before age 1, you're going to really be mindful of a few things. So that would be an infant. So we're talking about children. So for children, I don't think there's anything that I've talked about that wouldn't be good for them. I think every single food that I've discussed, and start them young. And this is what we did with our kids, we have 2 kids. We started them, that's nice. So 13, yeah, so, okay, well, we're hitting puberty. We got to get that liver. Okay, and it's the liver. This is something that really needs, you're awesome for putting your hand up, son. Okay, so I work a lot with fatty liver. In fact, you should really look at my success stories because Olivia Penvola, she came to me, she was 17 and she wanted to be a singing star, right? And sign a record deal. But she was quite overweight and she was diagnosed with fatty liver. And so she heard about me through someone else and she came into my clinic. And what I did was I noticed that there were some things that were actually driving the fatty liver. And so once we removed those items and replaced them with foods that were equally as delicious, within just a short period of time, like really short, fatty liver was gone. Her liver was so clean and healthy. And we knew this through blood work, right? And so you can see the way she looked shifted. And I actually showed you, I think from 8 weeks and then 12 weeks and then 3 months, just completely different person after, right? Because her liver was working well. And she was so excited. She was so excited that she actually signed her first record deal in the States. And now she's a professional as she wanted to be. So she's like the star in the States now. And because she wanted to get her health back, it all worked out. So if she can do it with my help, it can be done. So yes, there are foods that drive fatty liver. So the first one would obviously be sugar. So we need to look at, what is the diet like? Is it full of sugar? And you know what? If he's eating a lot of sugar, it's not even his fault. It's not. His taste buds are hijacked. They are hijacked. So he's grown taste buds that only want sugar. And they want the sugar because he's got the bugs in the body that are driving his sugar addiction. Because remember, when you eat food, it's not just for you, you're actually feeding the bacteria in your body. And if you have bacteria that thrive on sugar and you have more of those than the good bacteria, they're going to make you eat the sugar because they want to live. And there's a lot of them in there, right? So they actually overtook. And so it's the bugs that is driving the appetite, not even him. And the taste buds change. And so now he's got this situation where it's like, oh my God, I don't even know how to get off this sugar roller coaster ride because it's just too hard. It's too hard. Yeah, because there's too many of those bugs. There is a way. There is a way. And if you want my help, I would be more than happy to help you with that because it's so easy to do when you know what you're doing, and especially with 13-year-olds because they, they're used to eating a certain way, and so are all their friends. So, yeah. So Stephanie, it's not his fault. It's the bugs in his body that's driving it. Okay. And so we've just got to knock off the sugar bugs. We've got to give him foods that he likes to have because he needs to love being healthy. We don't want to go into an eating plan where it's like, oh, I hate my food. No, you're on the wrong one. No, you're going to find foods you love to eat that are going to actually help your body be healthy. That's why my program is all about without giving up your favorite foods. And for adults, they're wine, right? No, we can have some of these things, but let me find instead ofs, right? If you love bread, let me find bread that's healthy for you, that you like. If you like wine, let me find wine that you love to drink at the right time, because it's all timing as well, and the right source. If you like chocolate, if you like all these things, like we can eat these things. We just got to eat the right ones, right? And then you're never deprived. We don't want to be deprived or starving. Okay. Yeah. So I got your back, Stephanie. If you want my help, I'm happy to help your son. But let's get him now because he's reaching into puberty. You want him to be a good start into puberty because 13, wow, that's a very impressionable stage. That's a great question. Yes. Any other questions so far? Yeah. And you know, Brett, it's easy to fix. It's so easy, and I'm happy to help for sure. Any other questions at all before we wrap it up? Okay, well, if there are, just send me a message and we'll go. Anyways, I'll see you next Wednesday, same time, 2 p.m. CST, on another topic, which is all about how to eat, move, and live to have a fit and healthy life. It's really about that, sharing the truth. Okay, have a great rest of the day, and I will see you next week. And make sure you get a hold of me if you have any questions.